friends and colleagues, good afternoon. I have the honor to be with you tonight. I am going to moderate this interview about EGVRS around the retinal world. I have the honor to present our guest today, Dr. Tatiana Avanizova. Good afternoon, Dr. Tatiana. I hope I'm pronouncing your name in the right way.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dear Professor, dear colleagues,
okay.
Happiness and honor to be with you around the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Tatiana, we know that you are from Russia, and we know Russia is a very huge country. In which city do you live, Tatiana?
Now I live in Moscow and work here.
Yeah. You live in the capital, in Moscow.
Yes.
That's very nice. It is a very fantastic city. I didn't go there before, but I hope one day I'll be there in Moscow. Actually, you work in a university or a private or a public hospital. We don't know actually in which part do you work.
I work in both of them, in a large public hospital in the ophthalmology department as a doctor, ophthalmologist, and vitreoretinal surgeon. And also I work in a private clinic when I do my vitreoretinal surgery.
In Moscow, in Russia, you are allowed to do both vitreoretinal surgery and cataract surgery and plastic, or just you are vitreoretinal surgeon only? Because in the States, in the United States, you know, if you are a vitreoretinal surgeon, you are not allowed to do cataract surgery.
It depends on organization, on clinic, but most of us do both of these surgeries, phaco and combined surgery, phaco and vitreoretinal in one hands.
Yes, in Egypt is the same trend, you know. Would like to know who the person or the surgeon who influenced you to take this route or this vitreoretinal surgery. In other words, your mentor.
My happiness was to meet my mentors. Elena Saxonova is a teacher who opened me the world of retina. She stood at the origin of the development of episcleral buckling in Russia, especially temporary buckling, I mean balloon, using balloon buckling.
Yeah.
And she taught me to be dedicated to the ophthalmology and the patients. And I was taught vitreoretinal surgery by Alexander Yugay. He is a very skilled surgeon who masterfully manipulates the surface of retina, do successfully surgery for diabetic patients, for patients with retinal detachment. And he also stands at the origins of the development of vitreoretinal surgery in Russia. And I'm forever grateful to them.
Yes. I think you like vitreoretinal surgery so much from your work and your talks and presentations. Do you have any sports or hobbies you like to do? You like, for example, music, for like any sports in your life? Because also vitreoretinal surgery should at one time to be separated completely from work to another part.
I agree with you that vitreoretinal surgery and ophthalmology is a huge part of whole life. But of course, I like sport. I go to gym 1, 2, sometimes 3 times a week. And it allows me to feel more comfortable, to not only to feel better physically, but also to better control my emotions, restore mental balance, of course.
Yes, of course.
And I like classic music. I like beautiful music, and I like to hear book stories, some interesting stories when I driving in car.
Yeah,
Not only music.
yeah. But you don't play any music or any instrument like this.
I um, I was as a student when I was in my childhood. I studied music. I studied piano music, and I think if I was not an ophthalmologist, I would be a pianist, honestly,
Yeah,
because I like and I was very fond of playing the piano when I studied it.
yeah, yes, yes.
And it's something
Uh,
that you mean that you can do with your hands, with
yes,
your
exactly.
fingers,
I
as
think
a
after
surgeon.
working, I think after working with retinal surgery, there is no time to play piano to do anything other than working.
I agree with you.
Okay, what the best food you like to eat? Some in our country, some like the meats and steak, other seafood. What do you like to eat?
I also like seafood, but I have been a vegetarian for about 10 years.
Oh, yeah, very
And
nice.
yeah, and I love different experiments with in diets. In
Yeah.
summer, I can eat only raw food, and
Completely raw food,
raw food,
no
vegetarian
cooked food at
fruits,
all in summer.
no boiled,
Oh,
only raw. Yeah,
yeah,
um, and it allows me to feel an inexplicable lightness in everything that I do,
yeah,
even serious surgery.
yeah. Okay. You know, in our job, there is a lot of complications due to vitreoretinal surgery, and sometimes my friends and myself, when there is a complications, major complication, especially with children, one-eyed patient, and there's a serious complication in this. Sometimes I go home in a bad mood, and this affects my family. Do you think, do you do this, or others are completely separated when they leave their clinic or their hospital? They are completely separated and they don't think about the patients. Which type of persons or which type of doctors you are?
I don't know the right way how to do. I don't know the answer. Honestly, I can't separate. I try not to spread my mood into my family if it mood's not good, if my mood is not good. But honestly, I think about patients, about um, blood, about hemorrhage during the surgery, even not at home, of course. But of course, I try to do my home activity and
Yes.
not to show um, my my son, my family, of course. But I can't separate
Yes.
it. I can't forget everything when I at the building in my work and to be another person when I'm in my flat. Honestly, it's the whole life with their parts, but all of them have uh, links.
Together, yeah, yeah. Sometimes also due to vitreoretinal complication, the patient could go to the police and complain of the surgery and start to attack. In our country, it happens sometimes with all of us. And this happens with you in Russia also? Or you are fully
Yes.
protected by the insurance or by the hospital?
Yes, they also have insurance and can write some complaints to us, but fortunately I haven't these patients. In Russia, we try to learn our, doctors' rights also, because we don't know them.
Yes.
Honestly, we just know to fill the papers, fill the agreements, and try to do our best. But we don't think about it in usual life. Yeah. You try to do your best to the patients, try to be polite, of course, because this is the, I think it's the main cause of their complaints. If the patient, if the doctor is called not to open, not to tell them honestly some complications, not too polite and kind.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like to add something at the end of this social part?
Yes. If you allow me to say some words.
Yeah.
Yes, because today our life, everything has changed. The lack of security, peace, and light on earth breaks my heart. The other day I was driving from the clinic and listened to the recording of the letters of the great Russian humanist, scientist, and academician Dmitry Likhatov. And I want to tell his words. The greatest value in the world is life. Someone else's once owned the life of the animal worlds and plants, the life of culture, life throughout its entire length, both in the past and in the present and the future. What is the biggest purpose of life? I think to increase the good in the environment around us, and goodness is first of all the happiness of all people. And it's from me. I tell myself, one must think about the good, and that is enough for one person. It's within his power. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tatiana. We finished our social part and we have a pause. Then we'll come back to start our scientific part. We are back again with Dr. Tatiana. She is going to present her scientific part. It will be about staining of ILM in macula off.
I would like to present you two cases with my way to stain the surface of the retina if the patient have retinal detachment with macula off situation. The first one is the clinical case. A 77-year-old man was referred to our department of ophthalmology for sudden visual loss of his left eye. His visual acuity was light perception. His eye pressure was 7 millimeters mercury, and good quality of tomography was not possible due to the presence of high detachment in the macula, but macula pucker, as you can see, and macula were documented. And here's the video of this case. The standard 3 ports was done. Chandelier light was established as a 4th port in the inferior nasal quadrant by manual surgery, vitrectomy. After that, PFCL was injected posterior pole to flatten the retina. And you can see epiretinal tissue. And I put the blunt cannula and put the dye when the tips of this blunt cannula is placed just in front of the retina. Collect free dye from the surface of PFCL using aspiration mode of retractor and started to peel. You can see that the epiretinal tissue is visible and you can see it very clearly. You don't need to add some stain because the staining is very strong, even second layer. I prefer to do it under the PFCL, and I did not stain twice. It's blue color just after first placing. After that, usual manipulations, air fluid exchange was performed, laser applied, and I put silicone oil. This is the picture of this patient 2 months after. You can see that the retina was attached and his best visual acuity was 0.16 and good IOP. This picture, fundus picture of this patient, after silicone oil removed, and now he has visual acuity 0.3, and you can see that there is no epiretinal tissue, some edema, but the retina, the macula is good. And I would like to show you the same way of staining for the patient with retinal detachment, which was associated with macula hole. After vitrectomy and vitrectomy the periphery, again I stained this surface under the PFCL, collect the free dye and perform the temporal flap as I do usually, almost always, for idiopathic macular hole. You can see that this tissue is blue and it's very visible. After that, finished as usual the retinal detachment repair and finished with gas. Thank you for your attention. That was my way of staining under the PFC. If the patient have some problems, I mean epiretinal tissue or ileum peeling from macular hole, and also present with retinal detachment.
Tatiana, do you make this technique in cases if there is a macular hole or epiretinal membrane, or in all cases of retinal detachment?
No, I never done ILM peeling if it's fresh or any retinal detachment without any macula parke or some problem, I mean, some tissue or hole in the macula. No.
Because
never.
you know there is a technique which was proposed since 10 years to remove ILM from the macular area to prevent PVR. What do you think about this technique?
I think it can increase metamorphopsia.
Yes.
And defects in visual field, central visual field, because these patients have already have problems in outer layers. Yes. When macula off.
Yeah.
Ellipsoid zone, external limited membrane. And if we add this to this problem, some activities in inner layers,
yes,
it worse for them, and metamorphopsia will increase.
Okay.
There are 5 or 10% of cases of macular parke after retinal detachment repair. I don't think that we need to do for all of these patients to make ILM peeling.
Okay. Tatiana, I admire this technique and they do it all the time. But I would like to know your technique, how you inject with the cannula at the interface between the retina and the perfluorocarbon. What cannula, type of cannula you are using?
Without soft tip, without just
soft
blunt tip. Just blunt, and when I see the drop of stain,
yes,
I just touch with this drop the surface. It's I see this distance and try to touch with this drop.
Do you think there is no risk of injuring of the retina while using this hard tip or without the soft tip?
I think, of course, we have some risks, of course.
Yes.
But if you do slowly and can see it very clearly, there is small risk to do something dangerous.
Because I'm using a soft tip cannula and I'm using the injector done by Eckert, so there is, I think, I'm doing this with while I'm relaxed. I'm not tense that I may injure the retina during the injection.
Yeah.
Don't you prefer to do this injection or management of the macular hole under air? Do you think it is more easier to do it under air or to do it in your way under perfluorocarbon?
Macula off?
Yes.
I haven't experienced to do it under air, honestly.
Yes.
I don't know how the retina moves under the air.
Yeah. But I think your way is very nice way, because in this way there is no change in the focus of during under the microscope, because the retina, when the retina is detached, so I have to change the focus of the microscope from time to time to see what you are doing. But in your way, this way is perfect, that it stabilizes the retina and they can work under perfluorocarbon. And I think it is an excellent way for managing this part. In cases of retinal detachment, do you like to apply a buccal, encircling band, or you just do vitrectomy? Because there are two schools. The school do vitrectomy and no buccal, and they are against buccal 100%. Another school, they should put an encircling band in every case of retinal detachment.
Not in every case. only if the patient has indications. I mean, young patient, I mean, round holes, inferior part of retinal detachment. But if the patient has posterior detachment of hyaloid, the tissue holes and PVR, I don't prefer circle band, but do it sometimes, of course.
In your career, do you use silicone or gas or 50-50? And most of the cases is silicone in cases of retinal detachment and PVR, or we prefer gas like SF6 or 33F8?
If we use gas, it's C2F6, but it depends. Of course, I like gas, finished with gas tamponade, of
Yes.
course. I love to use it. But we have a lot of patients with not fresh detachments with PVR. And I think it's 50-50. But I try to finish with gas and to do it even if if the patient has the tears in 7 o'clock, in 5 o'clock, even in 6. It depends on behavior of patients also.
Okay. Also, in cases of recurrent macular hole, in cases of you did a macular hole and recur again, and there is no eye lamp around the macula, what is your best procedure you like to do?
We use flattated rich plasma to repair the recurrent hole with no ILM around it, and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Or silicone oil, but we need to have second surgery.
You don't like to reuse the amniotic membrane, like, which is popular right now?
We don't use it in Russia, honestly, and I don't have experience of using it.
Yeah, yes. So you like to use it, and in cases of classical macular hole without detachment, use an inverted eye lamp flap.
Yes, I have good result. Yes, I mean inverted flap from temporal part side, and I have good result. I have best visual acuity than in other techniques because we don't damage the part near the nerve macular part, and this method works.
Okay. At the end of this interview, I would like to thank you, Tatiana, for your nice surgeries you presented and nice talk about your social life. If you like to add anything, you can add it right now. If you like to say some words for the Egyptian Retinal Society and all the members of the society, knows Tatiana very well and knows she's an excellent surgeon, and they are happy to be with us in Ramadan. Actually, we are going to present interview in Ramadan. This is, you know well what's Ramadan in Egypt, so they are very happy to see you. If you like to add any words to the members of the Egyptian Retinal Society, will be very happy.
Thank you so much. I have never been in Egypt before 2020, not 20, before 2019.
Yes.
When I saw your ad about EGVIS Retinal School, I wanted to learn how do you make this school, and I was happy to know you, your colleagues, and it's really my honor It was really my honor to be in your conferences, to be among you, and to take a part. Honestly, it's happiness to have not only colleagues but friends. I can ask everything, not to confuse, to ask some questions, to share my complications, and it is very, it's happiness. And I wish you success. I wish you to spread your knowledge, to communicate with all over the world, and to make chance to see each other face to face, to share ideas. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tatiana. And we hope to be with us next meeting in Egypt to see you and to share our knowledge with you. Thank you so much, so much.